Anyway, we've got the Express now, and the GB News petition to keep cash was a success. I hope it was handed over as paper, Paul.
Yes, good point. Nigel Farage hands over GB News Don't Kill Cash petition to No.11 with 300,000 signatures. This is actually a remarkable story because many might say that that they're totally unaware of this, but it depends on what community you live in. Okay, so this is protecting a certain type of working class person, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm proud to have signed this. I think that cash should remain on the table and it should be freely available to help the working classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And apparently there's a million people in this country that don't have a bank account. Sorry, a million households.
I was amazed to hear that.
I mean, how do you function?
Yeah, how do you pay bills and things like that without... I guess you can still go down to the post office and pay with the slips?
This is why I said it's about the working class. I'm not just trying to crowbar it in, because, all three of us live quite comfortably within a middle class existence, and we don't understand that. But there are massive swathes of society that earn far less than a lot of people who will complain about this do.
Yeah.
And they survive very much on cash.
And it's a generational thing as well, because like my parents, well, my dad in particular, he's all his life he's dealt with cash, and he's not going to go into the internet and set up accounts and remember passwords and all that sort of stuff. I mean, for him that would be like being Q in James Bond.
Do you know, the only unfortunate thing about this, I was talking to one of the producers earlier, and his parents asked him how can they sign it. They don't have an email address. They don't use the internet at all. It's just like, why can't you do it by post? But anyway, 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Amazing. Anyway, staying on the theme of cash, the Telegraph has good news for octogenarians who like using cash. You'll only have to hobble 3 miles to get it, Cressida.
Brilliant. Banks must offer cash within 3 miles of your home. So, City Minister Andrew Griffin is set to announce that the City Watchdog will be given the powers to issue penalties for not following the rules. So there'll be consequences if people don't have cash near their homes. But actually, it's already the case that most people do live near a cash point. So really, this is just about preserving the rules going forward.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we see a lot of branches closing, and I'm always fascinated by this. If this was a branch of a clothing outlet that was closing, you'd say, well, business is bad, they can't afford to have so many branches. But banks make an average of about 150% profit per annum, right? So there's no real financial reason why they're closing. So you have to look at the wider picture, and they're just making it more and more difficult for people to access cash. They're just saying, basically, if you want to spend money, you need to do it digitally. Yeah,
well, people are spending much more money digitally with contactless and stuff like that. And there are higher charges with handling cash. And I've noticed pain because I try and use cash whenever I can. And a lot of people don't know how to count change. They don't hand you your change, or they give you the wrong change because they're not used to cash.
People don't take it. We had a bit of a running joke on a recent family holiday. My dad took a load of cash with him, and he couldn't spend this stuff. He didn't know what to... At the end, he's just got all this cash, and everyone's laughing at him, going, "What are you going to do with that, old man?"
Yeah, it's like when you go to one of those theme parks and you buy their own version of money.
No good anyway.
Anyway.